As families across America prepare for one of the busiest dinners of the year, food safety is a growing concern.
Yeah, it's tough timing. We've reported on recall after recall this year. Just last week, ground beef from Detroit-based meat manufacturer Wolverine Packing Company and organic carrots from Grimway Farms, both linked to E. coli concerns. We told you about a listeria outbreak that was tied to ready-to-eat meat by Yusheng Food. And Sugar Foods is also recalling a tortilla chip salad topper that was sold in 20 states, including Illinois. That product contains an unlisted wheat allergen. We know it's hard to keep track of all these. So what's behind these recalls? And most importantly, what can you do to stay safe? Here's NBC5 Responds PJ Randhawa.
According to FDA data, the number of recalls in the U.S. has increased steadily in the last few years, and in 2023 it reached the highest levels since the pandemic. But experts say this may be a good thing.
The majority of recalls are carried out voluntarily by the product manufacturer or distributor, but in some situations, the FDA can request or order a recall. FDA data shows in the past few years, there's been a roughly 20 to 25% increase in all recalls. The top categories with the most recalls are devices, drugs, and food/cosmetics. But FDA data also reveals this year the majority of food recalls were Class 1 recalls, meaning those food items pose the highest risk of severe illness or death. So what's behind the increase in recalls?
Well, there are more recalls from companies, and there are more recalls earlier in the process, which is a good thing.
J.D. Hansen with the Center for Food Safety explains over the past 10 years, the FDA was given more authority to oversee and enforce supply chains, thanks in part to the passage of the Food Safety and Modernization Act. And that led to companies issuing more recalls, but they're often smaller and more precautionary.
The last thing any responsible company wants to do is kill somebody.
While regulating processed foods presents its own challenges, Hansen says most recalls these days involve vegetables.
Meat is inspected every single day. Your vegetables aren't. So anytime you've got a vegetable product that's close to where meat is being grown, you've got a risk.
Each year, roughly 1 in 6 Americans get sick from foodborne diseases, while more than 3,000 people die, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, here are some key takeaways. Stay informed about which products or foods have been recalled, and you can do this by checking out the FDA and CDC websites. Cooking with heat kills most bacteria, so consider cooking raw veggies, such as leafy greens. The most common foods that get contaminated are raw eggs, cantaloupes, raw onions, and sprouts, as well as unpasteurized milk and cheese. So it's a good idea to avoid these foods if you're pregnant, elderly, or immunocompromised. PJ Randhawa, NBC5 Responds.